She's screaming.
The In Your City show, a hot mess just happened right as
Kelley jumped under the screen.
as soon as the intro goes. My water, which the lid obviously does not work very well, came off, and all my notes for all the shows just
everything.
got saturated in water. So it's Monday.
It is Monday, so the Monday things are going to happen. But you know what? What if some people are off work today because it's Columbus Day.
Lucky them.
I know.
I've been working since I woke up this morning, just went straight
Me
upstairs
too.
in my pajamas.
That's so often
Luckily,
the
our
case with
office is
Kelley.
luckily our office is in the house because I would have been, I guess, driving to work in my pajamas to try to get at deadline. Because of course, our show is brought to you by City Lifestyle Magazines, Clayton, Chesterfield, and St. Charles, and I was busy helping to make sure that all of our amazing advertisers' ads are in this morning. And of course, nothing's harder than when you have deadlines that fall on the weekends, right? And then you're trying to catch up because most people, well, a lot of people, I guess, are off. I don't know if is anybody off work anymore with technology and the way things are, and everything's open 7 days a week besides Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A decided we are not going to be open on Sundays. Who else is not? What else is not open on Sundays? I mean, a lot of your corporate companies, of course, they close down, but I still think people are home in their office working on the weekends to catch up because corporate people have
Hobby
meetings
Lobby's closed on Sunday, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah. Because corporate, they have meetings to have meetings to have meetings. So then they got to spend their evenings and weekend to try to do all their work. But I don't know. But anyway, we've got a great show ahead. But I know that a lot of us were, at least I was, it's kind of when a celebrity passes away.
Yeah.
I know I mean, obviously, she doesn't know me. I don't know her, not my family. But you get so attached to a celebrity when you like them or they're, you've watched their movies and you follow them. And it's sad when they pass. And I think sometimes it's a little bit of a, I don't know, it takes you to a place because you're not far behind.
Yeah.
It's to hit you like, wow, she's not that much older. I mean, she's older, but to me, she was just in a recent movie. I think we watched on a plane ride, and she's always kept that same kind of
vibe, that same look.
Yeah, that same look, that same character. And so she died on October 11th. A little bit of a shock, except because of us. We really
didn't. Did you mention her name?
Diane Keaton. Sorry, I was so.
I don't know if you mentioned her name. I was like, who, Kelley?
Who died? I was leaving you all in suspense right now to hang on.
Fill us in.
But they said that her health had declined very suddenly. So I'm not. They're private right now. They need some space, of course. They don't need to be answering to the media and all of us that want to know. But you feel very close to someone when you're watching them and enjoying their movies. And she seemed very vibrant for her age. She didn't seem like she was sick. So obviously something has happened, that her health just suddenly began to struggle, and then, passing away before you know it. She was seen just recently. She's not been out a lot, but she was shopping on a rare outing in Brentwood.
We're so used to seeing these actors in the movies that we think that's their current situation.
Yeah, that's just how they are. They're perfect. She's still, so I mean, it is very, very sudden and a shock. She was in the middle of 3 films right now.
Wow.
Yeah, she was in the middle of 3 unfilmed finished projects at the time of her passing. She's, obviously Reese Witherspoon was someone that spoke out, paying tribute to her. She was a very early guidance to her when she was starting in her acting career. And, her, like we were just talking about, her distinctive style and that the personal interest, the way that she would be, in her movies is, she just has a certain style. She kind of kept her role.
Yeah.
She didn't really venture out of it, and she always did, great on all of them. But I think it's kind of, gosh, remember The Godfather?
Yeah.
I mean, were they married or just girlfriend and boyfriend, The Godfather?
I can't remember. I haven't seen it so long.
I mean, I know it's been so long.
I thought they were married.
Married in it, and then maybe divorced, because she got out of it, went on. But yeah, The Godfather, that was a long time ago. Something's Got to Give. That was a real popular movie. But yeah, so anyway, my heart goes out to all those who were close to her, missing her. I think it's hard when we lose somebody like that. And then I think the perspective on it we take is,
We don't,
Wow.
I know,
We're close.
life is fragile. I mean,
It is.
we had, her husband passed away.
Looking at that chair right there,
Because
a lot of people sat in it.
Her husband passed away, got cancer, and 4 weeks later he was.
Oh,
passed away.
Mary
Mary
Enderle.
Enderle, yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, he was only 47.
I know.
And it was a 30-day process of feeling like he had the flu. And I think we talked about this last week or on one of our mini shows, is that you gotta listen to your body.
Mhm.
Something doesn't feel right, you probably should have it checked, but you feel like you go to the doctor and then they find something wrong with you. I don't want to find anything wrong with me.
You always hear these stories, these crazy stories about people who have like an accident. And because they went in because of the accident, the doctor
Then-
found that they maybe had cancer or they had
You're right.
this. And it's like, but it saved them because it was an
They were
early.
able-
Yeah.
Well, that's what definitely makes all the sense in the world too, is that. So before I talk about the next thing that I thought was really cool, again, just puts us the top of the rankings again with our St. Louis Zoo, but just let everybody know we are going to be talking about a big trunk or treat bowling event. Peggy Green will be on the show, and then we're going to talk to Kyle Slaughter. If you haven't heard of the Scobis Door Company, you will today. It's quite incredible. Their craftsmanship is out of this world. But before I talk about the zoo, I've got to talk about the fly trap situation. So have any of you, left it to your other half
See if I know the name of it. Let me
to
see.
see
I
if
can
they
find the name
can
of it.
find something, to get the wasp and the things that are, in your life living situation. So Gordon proceeds to buy these fly traps. And the thing about Gordon is, and I don't know if you're all like that or have a husband or a partner like that, but when Gordon buys something, he doesn't just buy one. He has to buy 3 to 5 of them, sometimes assorted colors.
To my defense, it only came in a 3-pack, so I didn't really have a choice.
Oh, okay. I
It's
think other
called
things
Rescue Outdoor Fly Trap. It's like a little plastic jar, and in that jar is a little packet. You undo the packet, and then you put this little packet inside and fill it up with water to the fill line, right?
Right. So Gordon, the day he got them, I started remembering back. I remember him coming inside and going, gosh, something stinks. It smells like, he said another word for crap. And I'm like, gosh, I don't smell it. I don't know what. Well, now what I know is he got some of it on his clothing, his hands, somewhere he left some of this product on him when he came inside. So everywhere he went, that smell was following him. I walk outside the other day. Gordon thought, you know what? If one works, maybe we should put 3 of them in our backyard. We sat
Yeah,
down,
because these
had-
flies were like, there was like 100 of them in this thing.
Flies were coming from other countries while we were in our backyard. We were literally it was like an Amityville horror picture. Flies were everywhere, not to mention the flies. The smell was
We were sitting outside watching the football game.
It smelled like a cow pasture in the
Why does
backyard.
it smell like a cow pasture out here? God, I don't know. Then I went
Flies
up.
were everywhere.
Well, what really alerted us to it was that Olive started going over to sniff them. She kept smelling them. You know what dogs do, right? So she's over there sniffing it and sniffing, like, what is wrong with her? I go over there and I realize it smells like an outhouse.
But he had one sitting on each side of the couch, one on each
Right.
side, so they'd really grab them close by, and one hanging. They were everywhere. Our backyard smelled so bad. I'm surprised our neighbors didn't call and ask if we had just bought a pet cow or something and had it back there. And the flies, it really works. So if you want
It
to put
attracts
it
them.
in a barn maybe, or put it somewhere that you don't have to sit, it definitely, there were hundreds of flies in this thing. Like I said, they were coming from
Oh
other
my gosh,
countries.
yeah.
So we had to sadly just put the lid on, and they're in the trash can right now, and they're going out to the trash company because they were so bad. So don't buy those for an
They work.
area. They work. Just don't buy them where you're going to use them,
Don't put them
because
where you're going to entertain guests.
no, or that you have to sit. So before we get to our next guest, I want to make sure to mention that the first rhino herds arrived at St. Louis Zoo. It's quite incredible. I mean, 5 southern white rhinoceros arrived over 4 days to the Arnold Wright Barn, which is completed this summer at the Wild Care Park. That's 425 acres located near the confluence of the Mississippi and Missouri River. It's that new area, that they bought all that property in North St. Louis. I didn't realize how rare rhinos are. I mean, incredibly rare. In 1970s, the black rhino population were at 70,000. Then it dropped to 2,410, a 96% decline, up to at one point, not quite this year. I mean, right now they recorded only 6,700 total across Africa. And of course, we are one of the zoos
Yep.
that have had the rare births that have taken place. There's literally been only, I think, maybe like 10 total rhinos that have birthed in zoos history. That's really small. And what's cool about it is that our zoo is literally Moyo, 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 was one of the transferred out of zoo for breeding recommendations that was, born here at our zoo, a black rhino. But I mean, you don't realize that the zoos are great for bringing the family and going and having a beautiful day and seeing all the animals. It's incredible. But to know that our zoo there's that baby rhino, to
I
know
know,
that
isn't it
our
cute?
zoo is one that's leading, on being able to birth a rhino to keep the species going. I mean, that's really sad. And of course, you know why it's happening, because of the poaching and the things that are going on, uh, getting their horns, which is so sad. The population is being lost.
Yeah.
So it's really, really, really sad on that. So the zoo is constantly growing over there and growing new different care facilities for these rhinos. So anyway, I
We have
thought
a
I'd
really
reach
good,
out.
really
That's
good.
great.
They have a really good medical team here at the St. Louis Zoo. I think it's pretty well known. I mean, we seem to get a lot of species that aren't doing well.
Yeah, did you know that? So there's the black rhino, there's the white rhino, there's a greater one-horned rhino, and the Javan rhino, and the Sumatran rhino. So that's all. And there's 5 living species
Wow.
that are left. And of course, like
Heard of
I
the black
said,
rhino.
they're endangered. But so that's cool news. So I'm wondering where our guest is. They should have
Well,
flown
Grant
through
just
the
said
door.
that our
Yes.
435 is here. 415 is it? Should I just have?
I think we should do that to have
Yes,
them
we
come in,
should.
and our other
Thanks,
one
Grant.
should wait. So we're waiting. It looks like we're going to be talking to next instead of Peggy Green right now, and that happens, in radio. You never know what will take place when you're on live. That's the beauty of that. Kyle, who is with the Scobis Door Company, is going to come, and that's Kyle Slaughter. So we look forward to talking with him, and I can hear them talking behind the door. But so here he is, grand entrance right now, live on radio. Come on in and sit down. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are
Your
you?
mic's right there. You can go ahead and put that on so everyone else can hear you as well. So the last time I saw you was at our hot list party, and you were decked out in your cowboy hat. And I'm like, this is definitely not your first rodeo. You must be a cowboy because you look to roll way too much.
Yeah, I felt in my element there. So
Now, do you have horses? Did you grow up on a farm? Or?
yeah, I grew up in the middle of the state in a rural area with it was actually a hunting preservation. So we had a deer farm, and we had a bunch of Tennessee walking horses, and
oh my
so
gosh,
yeah, I grew up around horses and
beautiful.
whatnot. But
That gourd, that's
Those are your mom's favorite horses.
yeah, foxtrotters and that. Yeah, absolutely. So hunting preservation.
Yeah.
So tell me what that means.
yeah, it was so it's a whitetail deer farm. It was actually founded by a family that owned a dairy company here in the St. Louis area. And my dad had a construction company that built tall game fences. So he was traveling around the country and building game fences on Indian reservations for elk and different handling facilities and that sort of thing. And they hired him to come down and build a place where they could bring their clients and kind of entertain clients and whatnot. And I saw that he was pretty handy and asked him if he would build a barn and a lodge and some bridges and a couple other things. So they decided to offer him a ranch manager position. So we moved our family from Wentzville down to the Bell, Missouri area, and just grew up kind of
Gosh, that is so cool. You're like a Yellowstone, except there's I don't know, the mountains and wild.
They got a nice view out there.
Yeah. So you decided not to be in the farming wildlife industry then and went into craftsmanship.
Yeah, my dad, he always told us, he said, I have got three younger siblings, and he always said, you guys will move to the city because that's where the money is and that's where, good jobs are. And he said, you'll find yourselves wanting to move back out here later in life. And he was correct. My wife and I moved to St. Louis in 2011, and we moved to the St. Charles area. And since then, we have bought and renovated several homes, and each time moved a little bit further west. So,
Isn't that something how that works?
yeah.
I know that feeling growing up with horses and on acreage and that all I wanted to do, I just wanted to be in a subdivision. I wanted to have houses right next to me. I wanted to be in walking distance, everything. I didn't want to have to do any chores, take care of stalls, water horses or anything like that. Now I would love to have a bath.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun because I got to kind of see both sides of the spectrum, if you will. My mom lived in the Wildwood area, and she was an executive for a big company. And so we got to come to my mom's on the weekends and get spoiled, and then we would go back home. My dad would work it out of us.
work it right up.
Right.
Well, thank you for being here. So you're here with Scobis Door Company.
Yes.
There's been some changes and some new things happening with that. And why don't you kind of up to date us what Scobis Door Company is for those that may have not heard of the name Scobis before, and how it's transforming as well, where it was, and we can talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, we're in an exciting time right now. So Scobis we're a custom door manufacturer. We build hardwood doors primarily. We're kind of expanding our services into other things outside of the doors, but it was founded by Mike Rachaki in 2001, and we're out of Chesterfield. And since then, we've built a ton of doors, definitely around the St. Louis area. And we've shipped several doors outside of the St. Louis market. We do a lot of churches, and we do a lot of residential homes as well, but we also kind of get into the commercial space a little bit and deal with a lot of historic preservation projects and, boardrooms, pretty much anything that has custom hardwood products within it. We're able to kind of design and build pretty much anything from scratch.
Yeah, Gordon was showing some of them, which are gorgeous.
Here's what I love. I love like the transformations, when
Yeah.
you see the transformations from what they look like and what they look like now. A door, being in real estate, I always tell everybody first impressions is everything.
Yes.
And the door is the first, besides the curb appeal, the door is the next thing that they see when
Right.
they walk into a door. I always get so upset when I go show a client and I'm showing them a house and I get to the glass door and it's full of kids' fingerprints everywhere. I'm like, well, they already know the house is dirty now. So it's like, but first impressions are so important.
Yeah,
They're so important. And you guys make such great, beautiful doors. I mean,
it's crazy how a door can literally transform the front of a home
Absolutely.
or a building, when you come into it. I mean, it's just amazing.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and so one of the things too is that not only do you get that first impression from a visual standpoint, when you really get to feel that front door, whenever your guests walk in that door and feel the weight of that door, all of our doors are solid 2¼ inches thick. So typically your front door is going to be about 1 3/4 inches thick. So it's substantially thicker. And you really just feel the quality as you open that door. It glides very smoothly. We use heavyweight ball bearing hinges, so it operates very easily, but you do feel the quality. You not only see it, but you get to feel it as you walk in that door, which is cool. It's kind of a tangible, visceral experience.
I don't think people, a lot of times, sometimes people can't vision, they can't see. You move into a home and you see this basic door that most of us get, when you get a house, and the door, and there's a one panel window to one side, or maybe there's two on both sides, and can't really visualize it. You can literally remove that and have a completely different look. I don't know, there's probably not too many front entrances that you can't redevelop.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
To make it work.
We can pretty much handle anything. So, and that's one of the big, kind of unique things about Scobis, especially in the door and window industry. It seems like there are a ton of different manufacturers out there. A lot of them offer some semi-custom type products. However, with us being fully custom, everything that comes out of our shop is a one-off. So we don't have like a catalog that you go through and say, okay, I like this door, or I want this door. We can start and use that as a starting point to kind of build off of, but we really like kind of bringing your vision and really your home's character into that design. So, St. Louis, for instance, a lot of the front doors have, a single entry front door with a couple of flanking side lights and
Right.
maybe a transom window above. And that transom window is typically arched. And a lot of people will look at that and go, man, if I could just remove that transom, remove these side lights and give me two, large opening doors that go to this archway, that would be perfect. And the problem is that there's just not a lot of manufacturers out there that will offer that custom aspect and really the curvature that the archtop doors have, which is a really unique.
Now you make me want to change my door.
We
We
have my
we got
contact
the
information.
typical large.
Yes.
I think we know who to call.
Right.
So what would be the process and about what kind of time frame? I guess each one is different because it's not a one size fits all. So what is the process for somebody that's wondering, gosh, can we do something different to change the presence of our home?
Right. Yeah. The process is pretty simple, really. We try and make it not so crazy, because when you get into the parts and pieces of a door, although they seem very straightforward, not a whole lot of details, it really can change a lot. There are a lot of aspects that you can tweak and play with. And if you were to get online and try and order a door somewhere, you're going to come up with a ton of different options that you're like, I don't know what that is.
Right.
So we really do kind of give kind of a white glove service and really hold your hand throughout the entire process. Where we make sure that we're very accessible and that you can, reach out to us with any questions or concerns or anything, and we'll handle it. So if someone's interested in a door, primarily you would just either call into our office or get online to www.scobiscompany.com, and we have a contact form that you can fill out there. Give us a little bit of detail about your project. Our projects usually go one of two ways. So someone might call us and say, okay, I've got this front door. However, I saw this door online and this is the door I want. And so can you make that fit into my space? And absolutely. So with that, what we would do is we would just schedule an in-home consultation, where I would come out and take some photos of the door, sit down with you, and really kind of try and understand, what your goal is with the project.
Yeah.
From there-
Personality to the house.
absolutely,
gosh.
Yourself.
absolutely.
I remember when we took a trip to Italy.
Oh
Doors are
God.
fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
You will see a building, but it's all about the doors.
Yes.
The doors were the statement
And the
piece,
colors,
and
the
that's
shapes of them.
Oh,
It was,
yeah.
they were magnificent.
and
Yeah.
the hardware. So many
Yes.
people overlook hardware. Hardware is a very important part to the door. It's
Yes,
not,
it is.
you can have this beautiful wood door, but without the right hardware, it's just not the same.
That's very true. And I actually went to Italy a few years ago, and it was something, it just blew my mind, the architecture out there. And
Mhm.
I just was constantly glued to the buildings. It was like my eyes were just, and I kind of geek out on some of that stuff, and being in the design space and the construction world, it's something that definitely interests me. But yeah, hardware is a big component to this. And again, that's something that's fully customizable. We deal with a couple of premium brands, in that we deal with Baldwin and Imtech. We have a lot of those samples within our showroom. But we can pretty much source anything. We can have things custom made because we are a custom manufacturer and company. We really encourage those types of projects and details that really kind of sets things off. And
Do you work on the doors inside the house as well? If someone wants something unique going into their bedroom or
yes,
What-
yes, we do interior doors, exterior doors. We do also any kind of custom trim packages. So baseboards, crown moldings, corbels, beams, lattices, basically anything that is hardwood, we can create
you
it.
can do.
Mhm.
What are some of the trends? Are the things that are out there right now when it comes to doors?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, in terms of the interior of the home, we see a lot of pantries. People doing some different, unique style pantry entries.
And that typical door you walk
right,
into, right?
Right, and it's in your kitchen. It's a door that's in your kitchen. You've got a
Right.
beautiful kitchen, and then there's this door
Door.
right here. And so we do a lot of pantry projects, and then offices. We can there's a lot of different rooms that, whether you got a game room or a bar or something within your room or in your home, we can create, any of those custom entryways. But a lot of times right now, what we're seeing is,
Think about that. Sorry, you don't. I
I
mean, we
know.
have all these just white doors in our
Yeah.
house, and all of a sudden my mind's going, boy, would that be pretty like that? Would that be pretty like that?
So I'm hearing this and I'm thinking, so the door inside a house, when we're talking interior doors, not only it's a statement piece for your front door, right?
Right.
But it kind of creates the personality of the room.
Conversation
Absolutely.
a little bit.
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's something that, people are so used to seeing, one of like 5 different door designs when they walk through a house. So if you have something that's different inside of the home, it really does bring that character, and it strikes you. It's something that, a door typically you're walking past and it's not something that jumps out at you.
Right.
But if you've got a bunch of, custom doors that really fit the architecture and feel of your home, it just kind of jumps out at you and you're like, dang, okay, well, that's different. And
Are the rolling doors still in? The
barn
sliding
doors,
barn doors.
barn doors they are, yeah. And
they.
that was something that I figured might come and go.
Yeah.
But it's still just as strong as it was 10 years ago.
Right.
I saw one at a wedding venue the other day.
Yes, I was just gonna say that it was so cool. I don't know.
An old Victorian door, gray with all, the moldings and stuff on it.
First, I thought it was just like
Whitewash.
an art piece, and then like, oh no, there's really a room back there they're hiding, and I thought that was great. We've got to take it to a commercial break. I just realized the time it is, so get to go pay the station bills, right? So we're gonna take it to a break right here at the In Your City show at the Lou Information Station. Put the app on your phone. You can listen to it anywhere. Just type in the information station. KLIS will come up. You can listen to the show from anywhere in the world. And then of course you can always watch it virtually at thelouinfo.com or the In Your City show channel. So we'll be right back with more fun here at the In Your City show. We have Kyle Slaughter with us with the Scobis Door Company. Welcome back to the In Your City show. If you hear any wild rumbling or something crazy, it's just Gordon's stomach. It was so loud while I was talking to Kyle that it almost made me laugh because I could hear it. Isn't that crazy how your stomach can make the funniest sounds and growling? So you must be hungry. So thank you to Kyle, how sweet he is to bring some crumble cookies. Oh
Cookies.
my gosh, they look
Man.
absolutely amazing. Those
It's
are
my
like,
sugar level.
that is like that's just like eating a piece of like
Oh,
a
yeah.
cake.
Yeah, they're very rich, but it'll get you primed ready for Halloween.
Primed and ready, or that make my jeans tighter.
Right.
One of the two.
Right.
But how cute is this? So I love this little hanger that Jennifer brought in. Are your closets bugging you? What a cute little thing. They just bought a new little bug that they're driving around St. Louis and having some fun doing reels. And if you go to the St. Louis Closet Company Instagram page, you're going to see their new red. It's not blue, it's red bug driving around.
She actually has a blue one in her commercial or in her ad for the magazine this month.
That's hers.
Yeah.
Both of them are her cars. This
Right.
one is going to be run around St. Louis, and then her blue bug that's in her picture, that's her favorite prized possession that she gets to drive around once in a while at home
it's
and
in her
that.
ad.
So yeah. So thank you, Jennifer, for being part of the show. 35 years in business. That is something to be very proud of. Winning awards like crazy, something that she really prides herself on and absolutely should. Is in her 35 years, they have never missed an appointment. And how important is that when someone's ready to get something done and they take that time out and they're ready to transform that garage or that closet or pantry or whatever it might be, their office space, you want to know that person's going to be there and take care of you. So the great thing about them as well, everything is done and manufactured right inside St. Louis Closet Company. They're not getting it from somewhere else. You can literally go into their showroom, which is gorgeous over on Big Bend, and watch them working on your project. They've got lots that you can pick from when you walk through the door, take a look at all their different designs. But again, that doesn't mean you have to get that design. They're just giving you some ideas. Their consultant will sit down with you and work out what you need to make your studio, your home, whatever it might be, go from chaos to calm. And that's what she prides herself on. She is all about supporting local. So thank you, Jennifer and St. Louis Closet Company, for being a part of the In Your City show. So back to Kyle Slaughter. He is here with the Scobis Company, and gosh, you do gorgeous work there. Your doors are just incredible. And like we were talking about, a lot of times you don't realize that you can take that outside door or that inside door. Like all of a sudden I'm thinking of the two doors we have, just basic, boring white doors that go into our bedroom. We always are opening them because we don't like to look at them, when they're closed. But it's amazing what a door can do to transform a room. So a lot of us, we can't see it. We walk into that door all the time and we can't picture how much it will transform the front of our house or a room. So is there a way that we can see that? Because I can't see how you can take that upper window that we have above our door and that, that typical door that we have on our house and transform it. Do you have a way for us to be able to visualize or see this?
Yes, absolutely. So, and like you said, there are some folks out there that know exactly what they want.
Yeah.
And that's great to work with. And but what we really like to do also is if someone has just no idea, they don't know where to begin. We actually can create all of the products that we build in a 3D format. We create beautiful renderings that we can actually put that door on your home. You can see that door from a 360 degrees, so you can see the interior versus the exterior, what that hardware looks like from the exterior versus the interior. Glass and that sort of thing. And we can actually expand this door and kind of explode it into all its individual parts. So you kind of see everything that door is made up of. So we use a couple different CAD programs and can create realistic models with lighting and whatnot to really kind of show you visually what that door would look like on your home. And then from there, with our design phase, we can go back and revise it as many times as you need to make sure that we really kind of honed in on exactly what you're looking for. So we do have design services in-house as well.
Do you feel the old look is kind of cut, like, are there, I know we were talking about, what is in trend right now that when you buy those homes like over on in the hill or the lower or in the city, and a lot of them have those big archways or those wooden doors and that. And then we all got to these cookie cutter type fixes when they're building these houses. Yeah. Do you feel like we're kind of going back to more of a olden look, or
I do. I think there's that, there's the attraction to that architectural aspect. I think people have a lot of appreciation for things that take a little time, and at least we hope so, because that's something that we do, is we take pride in the fact that everything's handcrafted. It's not it doesn't come out perfect every single time, just like your neighbors right down the road. One of the beautiful things about wood is, all of the slight imperfections and all of the things build character to that door and and really tell its story. And with wood, not every board is actually, every board is going to be different. The grain patterns are going to be different. So there's a lot of uniqueness with that kind of handcrafted hardwood door. And I do think that there's a lot of the traditional kind of architectural elements that are really popular, in stark contrast to some of the more popular modern and sleek designs as well. So we kind of cover the broad spectrum there, but I do feel like there is a kind of a trend going back in time, if you will, and creating some of those things that are just unique in the sense that you don't see it.
We're shocked when we see a new home being built, and a beautiful new home. And I mean, you kind of understand when you're in the subdivision, all the little houses are looking alike, they get those doors, but boy, could you really make yours stand out changing it. But there's a beautiful new home in our subdivision, and every time we go by, we're like, gosh,
it's amazing.
Could have done more with that door. I don't understand the doors they chose.
The door is
doors,
so uneventful.
Just normal.
I mean,
door. But people probably don't realize, because when you're with a construction build, right? The construction, they're doing their thing. If they don't really have that knowledge, maybe to guide you, sometimes people aren't thinking that we don't have to go with that door that they're, building onto this home. We can have something else made.
It's probably a good $1.5 million home, brand new home, being on the lake, on the new town.
Yeah.
Maybe more than that, but.
And it's got two
Just regular
construction grade metal front doors.
And maybe they're gonna call you and get something done. Maybe those are in for right now because it's taking.
If you're listening to us, we love your house, but you need a different door.
Get a hold of us.
Yeah, you need to do that. I mean, sometimes you ever just go around and see this door and think, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I've been guilty of that. I used to own and operate a design build company. It was a smaller kind of boutique style, and have been in the construction industry for a long time. And whenever I was ordering custom doors, I wasn't aware of Scobis down the valley. And so a lot of the times, whenever I ordered a custom door for a customer, it was coming out of the Pacific Northwest or somewhere that was really far away. The lead time might be 14 to 16 weeks. You've got a project that's scheduled like this. And so when that door comes in, if there are any imperfections or any issues with that door and the fit and finish, it's a long process to send that all the way back and then wait and then get it back. And so I think a lot of people and builders in particular kind of try and stay away from the custom aspect just because of the time.
Sure.
If something doesn't come out right, what does that do to, what is the ripple effect within the project? And so having a source right here in the center of the country and here locally is something that we really want to get the word out there, let folks know that we are here. And if there are any revisions that need to be made or issues that come up, we're very quick to jump on them, and everything is built in-house, so we can revise and improvise and remake whatever we need to make.
Makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Yes.
So do you, not just St. Louis, but are your doors going all over the place then?
Yes. So under new ownership, we, historically, Scobis has always been a very small company, very boutique, owner-operated company with a couple craftsmen in the back. It was recently purchased in March of this year by a couple of local guys, and they've been childhood friends forever. One of them owns a hardwood installation and refinishing company. So he's kind of been in the hardwood space, and they were looking at ways to grow his existing business. And and Scobis came up, and so they started looking at it and like, okay, this kind of fits into our ecosystem,
Yeah.
but the whole goal is to be able to provide that custom craftsmanship across the country.
Sure.
So, with craftsmen, it's kind of a dying breed. People are going to kind of this mass-produced system where, it's all about how quickly can it get done and how cheap can it get done. And we really want to take that approach of that craftsman style. And so, with a lot of companies falling out and it just being kind of a dwindling space, we felt like there was a good opportunity for us to kind of grow the company. And we're currently located in the Chesterfield area, down off of Chesterfield Industrial Boulevard.
Right there in the valley.
Right there in the valley. But we are getting ready to make a move, and it's pretty exciting for us. Yes,
Awesome.
we're operating out of about a 6,000 square foot facility right now, and that's showroom, offices, and shop included.
Oh my
And
God.
so it's a tight space, and since March we have added a ton of craftsmen to the back, and they're all on top of each other now. So so there is a need for us to move, and so we just acquired a new building in Maryland Heights, and are going to be moving our facility to Maryland Heights. Thank you. Yeah, we're moving from about 6,000 square foot total to about 25,000.
Wow.
And so it's a big step
That's
up.
a lot of doors.
Yeah, and the building itself is about 42,000 square foot, and currently we've got a couple companies that are leasing out a portion of it. But as we
That's
grow,
great.
we're going to be able to
Move
expand
them
into
out.
the space.
So they can have more.
Yep.
That's
What's the most
fantastic.
creative and unusual design requests that you guys have gotten? And hardware, what's the most creative and unusual door handles someone's requested?
Yeah, so I'm actually working on a project right now. We're in the design and proposal stages, but it is a 13-foot tall, 6-foot wide arch top pivot door. And so it doesn't operate on traditional hinges. It allows you, the hardware itself and how this door operates and swings runs right through the door structurally. And so it's a little bit more difficult to install initially, but once it's there, it does not move.
When you say pivot, what do you mean?
Yeah, so basically a traditional door is going to swing on a hinge from the door jamb.
Okay.
With a pivot door, there's the swinging or the pendulum point is actually moved in away from the hinge. And so that door, as it opens, about 2/3 of that door opens into the room, whereas a third of that door kind of swings out.
Oh, wow.
And so you'll see it on a lot of modern, like really large doors. This door is a little bit of an engineering challenge just from a weight standpoint. With these being, solid hardwood, and this one in particular is a mahogany door. Or excuse me, I take that back. It's a white oak door.
What makes the plus of this, of pivoting like that?
It's a design element, but really the big plus is the functionality and the longevity of the door. With a door that size on traditional hinges, with wood, there is an expansion and contraction aspect to it. Especially here in the Midwest where we've got cold winters, hot summers, it can be 70 degrees and then 30 degrees the next day. And so wood is a natural product, so it's going to constantly expand and contract. So therefore, there's usually a lot of adjustments that need to be done from winter to summer to winter to summer. Whereas with a pivot door, it just the functionality of it and how that pivot works and the weight distribution of it, it just gives it a lot firmer kind of stronghold on that door and its pendulum swing. So it's primarily for really large doors. However, it's also a design element, and in modern homes, it's kind of the new thing.
The new thing.
Yeah.
Oh, one of those little fake doors, that little hideaway where no one knows them.
Looks like a bookshelf.
Yeah, and you sneak in and get a little speakeasy door, I guess, going
inside.
into somewhere.
Have you ever seen somebody out of any doors that you've built that kind of match the personality of the homeowner, that you go, you know what? Because that's interesting too. Do they match up, or do you look at people and go, I've never seen you make, I could never see this person have a door like this.
Yeah, so I'm actually working on another project right now where the homeowners are very religious, but yet they are looking to kind of sell the home in a few years, and they don't they want to incorporate some cross designs on the door, but they don't necessarily want to be off-putting to a potential home buyer down the road. So they've come up with a really unique kind of design where it's a few different crosses that wind up creating a design in itself.
Like it's in the wood or something?
Yeah, so the wood, the crosses are actually in glass, and so
Okay.
they've created these small little crosses that are kind of staggered about, and they almost create like a star pattern. If you're not looking at it really closely, you don't necessarily see the individual cross designs, but if you look at it, you can see that, and you really feel that element behind them. And this was something that the homeowner designed. I showed up and they had it on pencil and paper, and they had a few different renditions of the design, and we kind of talked together and came up with a what we felt like would be a good option. And they made a few more revisions, and before I
Yeah.
even made it back to the office, they had already emailed me kind of that final
Wow.
design that they really
That's
liked.
Wow.
really cool.
Yeah.
And you get something
they-
like
did
that,
they-
that they can have that creativity that someone can just add into their home that you're able to do. You
Right.
just can't buy that at a
No,
store.
you cannot.
Was the cross configuration you said kind of looks like a star?
Yeah.
Was that planned or did that happen by accident?
That's a good question. I don't know, but I think that it was by design. I think that he was trying to create a design that would appeal to the masses, and pretty much anyone that walked through that door.
They
But he
knew
wanted it to
was.
be personalized with the crosses, and
Wow.
and it I think it was intentional. If it
The
wasn't,
star's
it was
cool
really
because
cool.
the star, of
Yeah.
Bethlehem,
Right.
Yeah.
and Jesus
Right.
and then the cross. So
You're
that's
getting all that
the
out.
beginning and the end. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a very cool door, and I hope we get a chance to build it.
We want to make sure that you definitely remember the name Scobis Door Company. If you want something that, like you said, there's something creative or unique that you want of your own, you have something in mind, they can do it. But of course, they can help you design something that really is going to offset, make your house look incredibly beautiful compared to just the normal doors that we all get on our house,
Right.
whether it's inside or outside. So I love that. So check it out for yourself. But so tell us, Kyle, what's one of your favorite places that you love to go to in St. Louis? And that might be from St. Louis to way out in Winsville, past it, wherever.
Yeah.
When I say that.
I guess I'm basic, if you will, but I love Busch Stadium. I grew up
Yeah.
going to the old Busch Stadium, and I love the atmosphere down there. I love Busch Stadium, like the Cardinals, and between that, the Forest Park area, I like being in the Forest Park area just because
Still
the
got that
architecture.
city in you, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I like the architectural elements
Yes,
down there, and
beautiful.
looking at all the beautiful homes. And fortunately, with my position, I do get to see some of the most unique, pretty homes in the area,
Bet.
and it's really cool. I kind of get excited every appointment just to go and see something different,
Right.
and but yeah, I mean, I would say the Forest Park area and Busch Stadium. Obviously, the zoo is always fun. I have 3 young kids, and
I was going to
they
say, with 3
enjoy-
kids,
they
you get
enjoy
to
the
be a
zoo.
tourist in your own
do.
city then, because
They do.
we miss out on a lot of stuff that we have all these great things. And we always say you need to be a tourist in your own city. But when you're a parent of young kids, you tend to see and do a lot more because, of course, you're taking them all around and
Right.
keeping them busy and occupied and
Yes.
learning new things.
Right.
At the same time, you tend to not go as much as it's like, what do the kids love to do? They have a favorite?
They are they love the zoo,
Yeah.
but they're infatuated with soccer right now. So
Oh, cool.
they don't have much time outside of school and soccer to do a whole
Have you
lot.
been to the new soccer stadium?
I have not taken them, but my wife and I have gone.
It's expensive to take the family.
Tell you what,
They need
yeah.
to bring the prices down so us
Yeah.
normal people can go.
Yeah, it's a good experience. We've been talking about doing that though, bringing them down there. I know that they would geek out.
Yeah, especially being the soccer enthusiasts that
Oh,
they
yeah.
are. Well, thank you so much, Cal.
Yes,
Really
thank you for
appreciate you
having
coming
me.
in and spending some time with us talking about Scobis Door Company, as well as bringing in Crumble. Crumble's going to get a big
I know.
hit here with these awesome cookies that he brought in. We appreciate you taking the time. And so we always in the show, we always want to tell everybody, we always want to give them a good cheers. So until our next show, Cheers.
Cheers.